Catches, puts up a three. One go. Rebound box.
Now head over in this direction. Gone to three.
Tie game with 5 seconds remaining. The impossible has happened.
Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler.
Anthony for three. Puts it in. Bridges. Oh my God. Oh, what? Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection. Curry way downtown. Bang! Bang!
And we are back. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Cam's Corner. Today we got a very special guest in Cameron Alves. He is a wide receiver right now at StoneHill. I've known Cam for a minute now, so I'm excited to start talking to him. And without further ado, guys, here's Cam Alves. What's going on? How you been?
Good, man. Chilling, not bad. Another week. How about you?
I've been doing a lot of stuff. It's tough for this. It's tough with like time management. You know what I mean? Because you can't keep putting out videos every day because you know what I mean. You gotta time it as best you can. But as for you, I mean, how's the season been up at StoneHill so far? I seen you guys were 5-1 on the season so far, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 5-1. Dude, season's going great, man. It's been a long time coming. We were up here for a whole year just practicing and going through lifts and field workouts and things like that. And I'm happy to see everything paying off for everybody, and I hope to just, keep pushing forward. A lot of people sacrifice a lot. We had a lot of older guys come back when they could be, accepting jobs, going on with their lives. But, we had a lot of sacrifice for it and got to just keep pushing on. So things are going well.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's paying off. But before we get into your whole college career and stuff like that, tell the viewers about your athletic background and what it was like being a 3-sport athlete growing up.
Yeah. So I went to Cranston West, played football, basketball, and track there. It was fun. It was a lot of fun, had a lot of success as far as what happened at West. I mean, got a lot of great opportunities. Played varsity football there for 3 years, same with basketball, and as well as track. Definitely, as far as time management, got to just keep everything in check. Make sure you can't fall behind because it's easy to slip up. But, I had a great experience there, and it was, I tell everybody, play as many sports as you can. You see a lot of kids specializing nowadays.
Yeah.
And it's dude, you're missing out on a lot of things. You're missing out on experiences like me, like us with basketball. I wasn't a basketball player. Everyone knows that, but what I'm gonna take from playing high school basketball and AAU with you guys, the relationships and you can't beat that. You know what I mean? So just go out there, have fun, relax, focus on what you want to focus your sport. Yeah, but go enjoy other stuff. That's what I try and tell everybody.
No, right. Because if I didn't have basketball, I mean, I wouldn't be in this chair right now. I wouldn't be in the position I am because it opens up so many opportunities. You know what I mean? Because someone like me, if you can't further your career at the college level, you can do it. There's so many fields you can get yourself into with sports. But I always ask my college athletes that have came on who their biggest influence was early, in the early stages of their playing career. So as for you, who was that person or who are those people for you?
I'm gonna have to say my dad. I mean, my dad's the first person that comes to mind. I mean, he I mean, you know my dad. He's just someone
He was your coach too, right?
Yeah. He coached me growing up. He not even being obviously not even saying this from the perspective of being his son. He's just somebody you want to do well for and somebody you want to play well for, whether it's you're taking in the groceries from the driveway or you're playing, you know what I mean? He's really inspirational guy, and he's really somebody who, brings the best out of me. So he's definitely somebody that I definitely was inspired to continue to play, and definitely was inspired to, further my career as far as I can. So he's definitely number one. And as far as everybody else, Coach Maluski from West, Coach Dunbar from Break. There's a list of people that have helped me get to this point where I'm sitting here in this chair. But I mean, my dad was definitely the spark that lit the fire.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, along the lines of coaches besides your dad, are there any coaches that you still work with now, to this day, that you worked with in high school that have been a big influence, that still work with you at the college level?
Oh yeah, ton. I do a lot with the Breakthrough Football Academy, and Coach Dunbar, who's the head coach at Westlake High School right now. Do a ton with him. He's been really good to me. I played quarterback in high school, and I had to make the jump to play receiver. So he's helped me a lot as far as learning the game from that aspect and developing skills that way. We've been to tournaments all over the region for experience, and he's had a lot to do with my development. So for him, I tell him every time he posts an Instagram story, you'll see I say like, you don't understand how much I appreciate you, coach. Like I say it every time, and he definitely understands my appreciation for him, but I can't explain it enough. And then not really my coach, but my mentor, Matt Sewell.
I feel like I heard the name. If I saw a face, probably, but
yeah, Matt Sewell. He's a couple years older. He's about 24, 25. He went to Portsmouth and then Bryant. He was in a couple camps. He was in camps like the Texans, the Jets. Had a tryout with the Saints.
Really,
couple stints like CFL combine, and he had an Achilles injury and then COVID hit, so he kind of got screwed, man. So he's battling back to try and make it to a team, whether it's NFL or CFL. But he's somebody that I linked up with 2 summers ago. I found him, and then kind of we've been training partners for 2 years. So he's not really my coach. He's more of like a
trainer, good friend, right?
Someone like we got to the point where we go golf after we work out, things like that. Like he's someone I really, really look up to, like outside the football field, and he's done a lot for me, man. So he's someone I definitely got to give a shout out and thanks to.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, we just said like at the beginning, it's all about connections too. You know what I mean? People because you bond these connections, and like they know people, those people know people, you know what I mean? And they get you to even higher to where you need to be. But going back to what you said about the QB position, when did you officially start like playing the quarterback?
Dude, I started playing quarterback when I was like 5.
So like at the early, like really, really early, right?
Like right out of the gate.
So I'm gonna ask you before later in how that transition was, but I know in high school, like you said, you played basketball, you played track and field, you ran track and field and football. We played a lot of AAU ball, like you said earlier. Growing up, we went against each other a couple of times in high school as well. I know you already had an idea of where you were going to school for football, but, usually athletes stick with one sport, like during high school, you know what I mean, to focus on that sport. What made you continue running track and field and continuing to play basketball all throughout high school and not just focusing on football?
That's a great question. You see, I was under recruited, things like that, just because obviously, man, we live in Rhode Island. It's a small population. I'm 5'8". I'm not the fastest. I don't jump the highest. I'm not the strongest. So it's like, I don't have like some star-studded recruitment. So it took me till the end of my senior season into the winter to, still find out where I was going. I wasn't someone that was like locked up junior year, like, oh, bang, commitment, playing football here, blah, blah. So that honestly kept driving me. But even if I was in the spot where I committed early, I still would have been playing. And here's why, because like we've been playing basketball against each other since we were in 5th grade, 6th grade.
Yeah, 6th grade, something like that.
And you can pick out the faces in a crowd of everybody that was on my travel team. I can pick out the faces of everybody that was in your travel team. And you grow up with those kids. And like, they're not just like they're my best friends. You know what I mean? So I was never the guy, like I'm a huge loyalty guy. Like I'm a big loyalty guy. So I was never going to be the one to, like bow out on him or leave him short. Even if that meant like I had to sit on the end of the bench. I mean, it would never come to that, but because I'm not an Alabama recruit. It would never come to that. But yeah. I would never leave him in the dust. You know what I mean? So I was going to play. I was never set on, skipping out on a season. And it's just because for the love of the people that you're going to go down the line with. I mean, you're 17, 18. You don't know when these guys are going to come back in your life. You don't know how long they're going to stay in your life currently. And then that was for basketball because I mean, I'm obviously not much of a basketball player. It's for the experience, it's for the love of, everybody around me. But track, I mean, I ran track just because the benefits of track for any other sport in general. I mean, you work on for all the jumping events, you're working on your explosion, the sprinting, you're working on your sprinting. I mean, so that was a given. That was more, I treated track more of as like a training and a booster for football, and as a lot of people around the country do. So I mean, that was a given for track. But I mean, as far as the team sports, yeah, that's what that I never thought to not play.
Did you know like what sport was going to take you the furthest?
I think it always was going to be football, just because I just fell in love with it at such a young age. It's something that I didn't want to give up. So I was probably going to ride with it, even if it was my worst sport.
So towards the end of your senior year, maybe even, in your junior year as well, what kind of offers were you getting at the time, and what made you choose StoneHill to play football at?
It's a wild story. I was getting a lot of just looks, like a lot of like responses to DMs, like invites to camps, all that kind of stuff. And so that was like summer of senior year going into our senior year. So played the senior season, same thing, getting a lot, nothing crazy from like 1AA schools, nothing like a lot of D3 schools. I was getting a lot of feedback from D3 schools, but I didn't really, in my head, I thought I was a better football player. I didn't want to play right. D3. That was me just wanting to take my ability to the next level. So whatever, go through senior year, nothing at the end of the game, bang, nothing yet. I'm like, damn, I got to hop on a horse. I got to like start sending emails. So going a couple of visits, I end up getting an offer from money offer from URI and Merrimack. And then a lot of other like preferred walk-ons from like schools like Lehigh in Pennsylvania, like Lafayette, like they would like those schools wanted me to like preferred walk-on, things like that, like had a spot on the team, no money. So I obviously wasn't going to take any of the preferred walk-on spots just because it was granted like $70,000 schools.
Yeah.
So
plus you don't have a guaranteed spot, right?
You have a spot on the team, but it's just like, you could be like, it's just kind of like, hey, you get shoulder pads. Like that's about it. So we got first signing day in December and second signing day in February. So first signing day comes up, I go to URI, I take my visit. Now, when they come to Cranston West and tell me you have a scholarship, coach looks me dead in the eye, says full scholarship to URI to play football for us. I'm like, damn. I'm like, that's, being like, I'm like, that's a Rhode Islander's dream. Like getting with
right off the bat, you have a feeling like you want to take it like right away, right?
I was dead set. I wanted to play football URI just because like played public school in Rhode Island. Like I felt like I like was trying to like carve a path for kids who like didn't go to like the private schools to like still go play college football. Like I wanted to be like that, like ignition. So I was like, bang, I'm going to URI. In my head, I'm like, done. URI, 100% without a doubt. So going to their visit and like my parents are there, whatever. We go sit down at the end of the visit. We go sit down in coach's office, like just to talk about like the final, aspects of the deal. And he was like, okay, well, we're going to just we got to look through your academics a little more because of the in-state tuition as opposed to out of state to make sure the numbers look up. We're going to hold your scholarship until February. He was like, don't worry. He looked my mom, my dad, me right in the face. He's like, don't worry. Hold your scholarship. We're just going to get the details out of it. He's like, you can take as many visits as you want. I don't care. He's like, we're holding it for you. This spot's for you. I was like, wow. I was like, cool. They took me down here. They want me. Whatever. Went on a visit to Merrimack. It was nice, liked it, but in my head, I was just like I told you, I'm like, going to URI. I gotta represent for everybody. So it's a Monday. Actually, we're playing Tolman that night. Actually, I remember the day vividly.
Yeah,
Tolman at Tolman in that little ass gym. Like we're playing them, so we an away game. So like I can go home for like maybe 50 because I live right next to West. 15 minutes, like grab a quick snack and like bang, go back to the bus. So I tell my mom before I leave school, I'm like, Mom, I'm probably gonna like today's day, I'm gonna call them and like make it official because like it's the Monday and then that Wednesday was the official signing day. So I'm like, they're gonna paperwork. Go to school. On the way back, I'm calling him on the way home from school. And he's like, oh man, he's like, we're gonna try and have to look at you for defense, maybe like a gray shirt, like sketchy. Like, I'm like, all right, dude, what is going on? Hang up. My mom and dad, because I gotta go to the bus. Like I gotta hop on the bus. And
this is during basketball season?
Yeah. And I give my mom this like half-assed story of like what's going on because I'm rushing and trying to get to the bus. So they call Coach Fleming. And they called. And at this point, I'm like, yo, they took my scholarship away. Like, I believe it. And they're like, no. My parents are like, no, they didn't. So my parents called quick as I'm like going to the bus. dude, pulled the scholarship right in the spot, pulled it right underneath me, pulled it from right bang. No scholarship, no.
After they guaranteed it though, right?
They had said the signing day, we're gonna keep your money until the signing day. You got a spot.
Right, yeah.
Yanked it right from under me. So now I got no spot. And then a week before, Merrimack had done the same thing, but I didn't care about that because I was I was dead set on URI. So now I went from having these preferred walk-on spots and these money scholarship offers the day before signing day to nothing. I got nothing. So now I'm like, I'm kind of screwed here. Like, this is not going well. I had taken a visit to StoneHill because my dad was pushing me to take it here. I had taken a visit to StoneHill. And I was like, the day before, the weekend, like the Saturday before.
Right. Okay.
I just checked it out. Cena had committed here. Cena had committed here, and I was like, that's like good. I'm so happy for him. Like, sick. Like, I'm gonna take a visit. I got one more to burn. Took a visit. I actually really loved it. Like, loved everything about it. So now I'm like, I got no scholarship. Coach Gardner calls me. He's like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Here's the package, here's the offer. He's like, you want to do it? And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, bang, let's do it. So it was kind of just like, damn.
Just
like
kind of like on the spot, huh?
The only one on the table. It's like, I'm not going to wait. Like, I don't know where it's going. Like, bang, bang, I got to sign it. So let's go. So.
Damn, they did that to you. URI was like, yeah, we got your spot. We're going to give you time, to do more visits and all that kind of stuff. If you haven't made a final decision yet, then you go to make a final decision, then they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, iffy about it. And then
yeah, dude,
that day, that's crazy, man. Oh my God. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And on top of it, you got a basketball game to play. So, I mean, you started, right? You started at point guard?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I know you said football, basketball is not, wasn't like your main sport, but you do it for, your teammates and you do it for yourself as well. It's like going through that mental state during the game. If that was me, I mean, I'd be like, I would be so off if that was me.
Dude, I couldn't. I was red hot. I couldn't focus on anything. It was crazy.
Yeah, that'd get me angry too, obviously on the court.
Dude,
yeah, but
not all the people know that. Not all the people know what happened. Everyone's like, oh, I didn't go to your. I'm like, no, I did. I was planning on going to your. They pulled it out from under me.
That's insane.
It screwed me. Yeah.
I mean, it benefited you though. I mean, I know you were D1, but I mean, so far football is, like we've been saying, is definitely your claim to fame coming out of Cranston West. With all the media buzzing, all the interviews and all that kind of stuff, going into college. Before you obviously got there, what was your most memorable moment, memorable game for that matter, at Cranston West?
When we beat LaSalle.
Yeah.
When we beat LaSalle my senior year, that was crazy. So the way they do you know how they like set the playoffs up our senior year? Do you know?
I understand it a little bit because I know Nicky played with Hendricken, so it's a little different. But
they split Division I into like two sides, like
right.
8 teams each, and then basically if you finish number 1, you went to that Super Bowl, which is what Tom and Nick did.
Yeah.
And then if you finished 2 through 5, you had like a crossover playoff. So the week before LaSalle, we had lost. 2 weeks before, we had lost. And we were like, down in the dumps, like everyone was pissed. Like we knew like that was our shot to like play Tom and Nick. Like we're done. Like we're not going to be able to get to the top. So now we were like, we changed our mindset. We were like, you know what? We were like, we're going to go out there. We were saying the whole week, we're like, misery loves company. So like, we're going to go out there. We're like, we're taking them down with us. We were just dragging. At this point, we were like, we're just dragging people down with us. Like, let's just go. So we got to the game and that dude, oh my God, that game was crazy. There was at least like 3,000 people there. It was packed. Like we came out.
Honestly, I think I was there too.
You went to that game?
I think so. Yeah.
Dude, that game was insane. Like we ended up just running their face on, dude. We had like 450 rushing yards. Like at the beginning of the game, like they came out, they ran through their tunnel, like they came and like ran to our sideline, like right in front of it, and like started like pounding their chest. Yeah. Like they thought they were the shit, and dude, we just pumped them. So that was something I'll never forget. That we literally like all my boys home, like we talk about that all the time. We're like, we're never going to shut up about this. I'm like, no, we're not. Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure I was at that game because I do remember when now that you say that, I do remember LaSalle coming out in front of you guys and kind of like pumping their chest. Like, I was like, that pisses you off, and that flips a switch in your head. Like, all right, yeah, you're not gonna play with us. This isn't gonna happen. So.
Exactly.
It's always good to have that mentality, though. I've always had that mentality playing sports growing up. But your freshman year, like we just said with COVID, not knowing really till maybe like midsummer or maybe like the beginning of the year that you weren't going to have a season at all.
Mhm.
I visited StoneHill before too, like during that time. You know what I mean? So like you didn't really have too much of a campus life either. But who did you train with a lot in that summer? To get your body back right in the football shape. And since there really wasn't any like team practices or anything like that throughout the year.
We did a bunch of stuff. I mean, me personally, I trained with Dunbar and Matt Sewell, like I told you, like I was with them a lot.
Yeah.
And then for team wise, I mean, we still we met up here a couple times. Like we snuck it. We literally hopped 2 fences, like stuck on, like tried to just get all the people who live close to StoneHill to just get a little feel for it. We did that for a little bit. I was with Tom and Nick for a while. We would meet up at West all the time and just do the packet they sent us.
Yeah.
But I mean, we found out everyone kind of had an idea. We were like, there's no way you play. There's no way you play, just because of what we were getting fed information. And we kind of had an idea. We didn't find out till like first week of August. So that's when we officially knew. But I mean, I was still I wasn't training for there not to be season. I was kind of just training as far as I am going to use this year to get better. As far it's I knew we were playing. I was like, there's no way we play. So I was like, I gotta I wasn't going crazy, as far as I guess physically you could say, I wasn't I was doing more technique, I guess you could say. I was doing a lot of technical stuff because I wanted to really, really develop my route running and things like that because I knew I was going to have a lot of time to do it. So I spent a lot of time doing that, and then I spent a lot of time this summer doing that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys were at West a lot, obviously, being as close as I am with Nick and Tom, but that's it's good. It's still good though that you have that accessibility, you know what I mean, during the time you're still able to get on the fields because I was really thinking of playing at Rick because Rick's D3, so walking on wouldn't be as hard as walking on a D1, you know what I mean, a D1 team. But none of the facilities are open. I'm at home my first year of college doing online school. You know what I mean? It's tough. That transition period was tough being a freshman because then going in your sophomore year, for me, I mean, I know Rick's a small campus, but I really didn't know where anything was. I didn't know how to get into certain places, where to go to, talk to people. But what was the process like transitioning to the wide receiver position, playing quarterback, almost your whole career?
Dude, it was foreign. It was weird. I didn't think it was going to be a lot easier, but I thought that, I guess I underestimated route running a little bit, to be honest with you. There's a lot of little techniques that I was learning. You could Tom knows, bro. Tom looks at me like I have 3 heads sometimes because the shit I say. We'll run good route, catch the ball 30 yards out the field, first down, everything you want to play. And I'm sitting there pouting and throwing something because I cut it 9 yards instead of 10 or something like that. He looks at me like I'm a psycho, but there's a lot of that stuff. And then at the same time, it's counterintuitive, dude. There's a lot of really good techniques that you have to have when you run routes. And then there's a lot of just being an athlete. What the fuck? You're sometimes you're trying to run a route so technical and so precise, but then at the same time, it's if you just put your foot to the ground and went here, being an athlete, you would have made the play. So it's a lot of just having that in your back pocket and just playing ball. I mean, that's what I figured out this year. I think I got a little too wrapped up in running good routes. And then as far as just, sometimes you just gotta make a play, just trust yourself and just play football. So I'm having fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Definitely got a lot of room to improve a lot. And what else? And definitely, looking forward to it. Keep going.
Yeah. Now that the season has been in full effect, I looked on StoneHill's website. I don't know how accurate it is, but 14 receptions, 178 yards, and 2 TDs. I know that one of the TDs was a game winner against Assumption. I was actually at that game. But unfortunately I didn't see it because the group I was with, it was raining out and they were we gotta go. And, but I wanted to see the whole 4 quarters, but what has it been with the role that you've been in now? And what do you have to say about what you have accomplished so far with this season?
I mean, I'm not a huge stat guy. like in my head I am, because I want to, like, play well and produce well for the team. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, I'm more worried about like just the type of play I make. Like for this last game, I didn't have a reception, but I was just running around blocking. We had 2 touchdowns. I obviously could have blocked a little better, but I was acting like I scored the touchdowns. Like I was going crazy, you know what I mean? Because like, I just want to win. But I mean, for me, I mean, obviously, I'm never gonna tell you I'm doing well. Like I'm never gonna tell you, oh, that's good, that's great. Like what I'm gonna say to that is like, there's a lot of room for improvement. There's a lot of room for better. And that's just me, dude. I just hammer myself, and probably could be a little easier on myself sometimes. But at the end of the day, that's just who I am. And so I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot of room for improvement, and there's a lot of room to just keep going.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you don't want to have a big head about it, but at the end of the day, like I saw you that day after that game against Assumption, like, you're feeling good.
That was a feeling I'll never forget. I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm saying,
of course not.
I'll never forget. But I'm just saying, when Saturday night's over and it's Sunday morning, we're like, all right,
yeah, back to the drawing board. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That didn't happen. You gotta
Exactly.
No, completely agree. But did you have any idea that you were going to be like a starter? Like, did you, like, going into the season, like, did you have an idea of who was going to start?
I knew there was a spot to go get. We had, so I had a pretty good spring. As far we had like 15 practices, and like it's a lot of like individual work and like eval. And I was climbing the ranks in the spring. I was doing well, so I knew I had an opportunity. But then we had a couple. We had a guy quit, a guy go down. A couple things happened to make our room a little thinner. But even if that didn't happen, I think that I was still going to be headhunting for it. I mean, I came into camp and I was crazy. I tell my dad this all the time, because like all fall and spring, I was like working with the 3s, the 2s, things like that. And then a little bit, I was working a little bit with the 1s in the spring. So I come into camp that first day, and like they got the depth charts like posted on the locker room, and like you see your position, and you saw like I just see Alves like right underneath this in the first slide. I stood there for like 5 minutes there, and I was like, damn, like this is real now. Like we're not just practicing. Like wow, like I gotta defend that spot, and like I gotta go get it. Like that was something I won't forget, because I'm standing there, I called my dad and looking at him like, damn, like this is cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool, man. This is cool.
Like
So
going from that URI offer, like not even knowing where you were going to go. And then it comes right around. Like you never, like, you know what I mean? You held your head up and just continue to grind. Like that's what it's all about. And that's what I love to hear from, all my college athletes that have been on. And then I'm grateful enough to build a relationship with them, because it's cool to see, them accomplish what they have. But to kind of wrap it all up, what's your schedule looking like going forward in the ongoing weeks, and what do you hope to accomplish for the rest of the season?
we got to do this is probably the biggest game of the season, biggest game the school's probably had in a while. We're playing New Haven on Saturday. We're 5-1 right now. They're 5-1, but they're undefeated in league play. So basically, right now, it's kind of like our high school football. Like I was just saying, like you got to finish number 1 to win the league title. There's no like playoffs. So I mean, we got to basically win this game, and then every game's a playoff game. Win this game, keep going to have a shot at the conference title. So this week's huge. They're coming up to us, our place at 1 o'clock. They're good. They're athletic. They're historically, get a lot of people. We get a lot of transfers. Historically good football, but I mean, I think it's going to be a good game. I think
for sure. So they're going up to you guys?
Yeah, they're coming up to us at 1. It's going to be a good game. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited to play it. I'm excited to play in this game, whether it's like whether someone gets 1 snap or like 99 snaps. I mean, like it's going to be a game where like everything matters, and I think that put our best foot forward. It could be a good one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
we got them. So we got them on Saturday. Then following week go to Pace in New York, and then it's home against Franklin Pierce, and then away in Southern Connecticut to cap the season off. So we got 4 good games, but this one's huge.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely try to come to that game because it is early. So, but that's pretty much it. I mean, that's all I got lined up for you. But Cam, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you sharing a lot of those stories, like the URI one and multiple of them. I didn't know a lot of those things about you, and it was good to pick your brain. Anything else you got to say before we wrap it up?
Hey, listen, just thanks so much for having me, man. It's always great seeing you. Hope to see you up here this weekend, definitely.
Yeah.
And hope all's on, man. Keep going.
For sure, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later, man.
Hey, have a good one, brother.
You too, man. And that wraps up today's episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my little interview with Cam. It was good catching up with him. We grew up together kind of on the basketball court, but obviously he took his talents further with football. Yeah, he definitely made the right choice. Stay tuned. I got a lot of stuff coming. I got a lot of big announcements coming. Tune into all the social medias. Be sure to stay up to date with all the latest Cam's Corner content, guys. I'll see you in the next episode.